Hey, okay, this is one of those videos, like all my other videos, where I just get on and I ramble on and on and on about whatever, and hopefully something good comes from it. Otherwise, I'll delete it. I still have a cold, and the reason I posted such a short video yesterday, which I still might delete it, I don't know why it's got 104 hits. It's kind of a stupid video, but I kind of wanted to show off my new iguana. And also, I had something in my mind about a recent comment that I received. I thought I'd kill two birds with one stone, which is a really terrible thing for somebody like me to say who raises birds. And I have two birds sitting looking at me right now, as a matter of fact. They're looking at me like, we're too cute. We're too cute to kill. That's what they look like. They're okay, see, there they are. I don't know if it'll pick up, but anyway. Okay. So, no, the attitude that I got from this one guy who got very pissed off at me because I blocked him, but I found his comments to be, he actually, basically, there was the gist of something he said was, well, if homosexuality is natural, then why isn't rape and murder natural or whatever? And it just seemed to me like, how can you even put those things in the same category? Rape and murder are crimes, and they violate somebody's rights, obviously, and in both cases can destroy somebody's life, and they're criminal. They're criminal, and there's a victim. There's somebody that is harmed, and there's somebody that is forcing themselves on somebody else. That's a crime. How is homosexuality even remotely in the same ballpark as a crime like that? They're not consenting adults having sex is not a crime. And I guess my biggest problem with the whole subject of, it's like, what you're twisting meanings, or you're putting two different meanings or two different words into it. You're putting natural versus criminal. You're getting those two things mixed up. I guess technically killing somebody is a natural thing too, because in the natural world, we see our closest relatives committing murder also. There's a difference, though. I mean, just saying something is natural, I guess my argument against people who say homosexuality isn't natural is, yes, it is. And this is why, because our closest cousins engage in it, and pretty much most species on the planet engages in homosexuality. Hence, it is natural. It is part of what we are. And I think further proof of that is the fact that there are people who are homosexual or bisexual, and they exist, and they are human beings. I think that that proves right there that it is a natural thing for human beings. I think religion is the thing that isn't natural, and it tries to make for us an artificial existence. And if we can't live within its rules, then it wants to call what we do unnatural, when in fact it's this artificial existence that is unnatural. But now this person's bringing up other things that are criminal, like murder and rape, and it's like steering away from the whole subject of what is natural and not natural. Something can be natural and be criminal, and something can be unnatural and not be criminal. They're two separate things. I don't see that homosexuality is unnatural, and I don't see that it's criminal either. It's what people do in their beds. And why is that such a big concern for people, for organizations, for churches, for religions? What people do in their beds, in their private lives, who they fall in love with. I mean, that is like the most intimate, personal thing of all, is who your heart decides to fall in love with. And it's not even really a decision, is it? It just happens. You meet somebody and you click with that person, and all of a sudden you can't seem to get enough of that person, and you want to be with them all the time. And when you're not with them, you think about them. It's a natural human thing. It happens. And Love is blind, literally. It's not going to discriminate. It's not going to discriminate for color or how much money you have or what gender you are. You know, love is blind. Love sees past whatever. You know, I had somebody live with me that didn't love me, and I loved him. And he was sick, and he wasn't very nice to me. All the time I was taking care of him, he wasn't very nice to me. And I still tried so hard to be there for him because I loved him. You know, that was not something that was healthy for me. It's never a good thing to fall in love with somebody who is not only not able to love you back, but is also able to be abusive or take advantage of your love. That is not a good, healthy thing either. But, you know, you can't just control your heart all the time. You don't always have a say in who you love. And when you find a healthy love, somebody who loves you back in equal doses and lifts you up just as you lift them up. You're not always the one lifting somebody up. They lift you up too. And you guys complement each other. You know, are you going to turn away, walk away because so-and-so says it's not natural, or so-and-so says it's an abomination? It's like, what makes so-and-so the big authority on what is natural and what isn't natural? What makes such and such book the final authority on that? You know, I don't think that what makes, does this make any sense? I like to say, okay, the Bible says that homosexuality is a sin, and what makes that person who wrote that verse the big expert? Oh, they were inspired by God. Oh, right. And we know this why? Oh, because the book says that he was. And the book was written by who? I mean, I think you first have to show proof that there's a God before you can start saying that such and such is inspired by God and give it all this authority over society. Oh, this book has authority over society because it's inspired by God. Okay, that has absolutely no meaning at all until you prove that there is a God in the first place. Prove there is a God, and then you can say this book is inspired by him, and maybe then it will mean something. But until you prove that there is a God, it means nothing to say that this book is inspired by one. I could say that Harry Potter is inspired by God, and it would mean just as much, because I'm not showing you proof that a God exists to inspire the writer who wrote Harry Potter. So it is just as stupid of me to say that Harry Potter was inspired by God as it is for somebody who follows the Bible to say this book was inspired by God. Okay, show us this God, show us proof of this God, show us that this God exists. So anyway, my poor little cat. I have an older cat, and he's a little bit confused, and sometimes he just. Anyway, taking a book that is supposedly gets its authority from a higher power that we don't have any proof whatsoever exists at all, and saying that because this book says these people can't have the same rights, and these people are bad people, and these people are an abomination because this book says. I'm sorry, that's wrong. The book has no authority at all until you show what it is that gives it authority. And it shouldn't, saying that such and such gives it authority and producing no evidence of such and such is meaningless. So, I guess that's it. I think that part of the problem is people want to control other people. People are nosy and have no business putting their interests in the lives of others and what other people do in their personal lives behind closed doors. You know, I have a lot of gay friends, and when I relate to my friends, I relate to my friends like I relate to all my friends. I don't stand there talking to them and think what they do in their personal life behind their closed doors. I don't think about it. It doesn't enter into the conversation. It doesn't cross my mind. It is so incredibly unimportant to me what these people do with themselves and their significant others. That's not my business. It doesn't even matter to me. I'm sure it doesn't matter to them what I do with my personal life. Why should it matter to me what they do with theirs? So anyway, this is kind of more like the video I wanted to make before I made the one with the lizard. But yesterday I couldn't say 3 sentences without having a major coughing fit, and I'm still in that same situation. So I'm going to go ahead and end this before one of those comes along. And I think I've said what I was wanting to say. So thanks for listening. If you have, bye.